My mama told me when I was young, Brian, you got two ears and one mouth. You should use them in that proportion. This is the Daily Dose, and my name is Brian. Let's talk about effective communication. I'll bet if you took 10 people and you lined them up against the wall and you asked them, how can you improve your communication? Almost all of them, probably all of them, would start explaining to you how they could be better at speaking. They would start talking to you about their speaking skills or their presentation skills. But overwhelmingly, what makes you a better communicator is not how you speak or how well you speak. It's how well you listen. Let me explain. When you're listening to someone, truly listening to them, they like you more. Plain and simple. People like to be valued. They like to know that what they're saying and what they're communicating is valued and it's well received. And when you can give that back, when you can give somebody that feedback, that you're listening to them, that you truly care about what they're saying, your stock goes up with them. They like you more. And when they like you more, you have more influence with them. And so now when you do speak, that communication has more gravity. It has more impact, and that makes you a better communicator. So listening really elevates the effectiveness of your communication when it is your turn to speak. So here's a couple things we can do to work on our listening skills. Number one is let the person completely finish their thought. When someone's speaking to you, let them get all the way through their sentence and finish their thought. When they do finish their thought, don't just jump right in and give them some kind of response. While they're speaking, don't worry about what you're going to say next, right? Too many people spend the entire time that they're supposed to be listening just formulating in their mind what they're going to say next, waiting for their turn to speak, right? Waiting for a break in the action so they can jump in, okay? Don't do that. Really listen and comprehend to what the person is telling you, okay? And then once they're done with their entire thought, don't ever interrupt somebody. Once they're complete with their thought, take a moment and pause and really reflect on what they said. And then formulate a response. They will feel so valued by this because they're expecting you to just jump in and respond like most people do. And when you really take a moment to consider what they've said before you respond, it really shows them how much you value what they're saying. The other thing you can do is you can repeat back to them what they just said to you. You can paraphrase it, right? You can do something like, so if I understand you correctly, you said... and then you repeat back to them what they said. That lets them know you were really listening. You got the message. It also gives them a chance to correct the message if they didn't communicate it well or if you didn't receive it correctly, right? And this, again, makes them feel very valued. It gives them the understanding that you truly care about what they're saying and that you want to understand it and you want it to be clear to you before you give a response. And that's powerful, man. So those are two of the things that you can do. The other thing is always make eye contact, right? Try to match the person's posture that you're speaking with. If they're leaned in like this, well, you can go ahead and lean in. If they're kicked back, then relax a little bit. If they speak a little slower, then maybe you want to speak a little slower. If they talk a little bit faster and they talk kind of like this, then you might want to pick up your pace a little bit, right? People like themselves. So if you're matching and mirroring while you're speaking with someone, and you're truly listening to them, comprehending what they're saying, and formulating a response based on that understanding, they're going to like you a lot more. They're going to appreciate the things that you say a lot more, and you're going to have a lot more influence with them. That, my friends, is the real art of communication. And that's the dose. Go make it a great week.